This film has been modified from its original version in hopes that you may be able to see it this time around.
Well, they say the government is dumping chemicals on us to control or manipulate the weather.
And they say the unusual-looking jet trails in the sky are actually chemical-laden chemtrails. So, is there really poison in the sky?
Controlling the weather is the ultimate superweapon. It's even more powerful than the atomic bomb.
These kinds of signals can control the human brain, and if you can control these frequencies and multiples of these frequencies and various combinations, you can control all kinds of emotions. You can generate happiness, you could generate sadness, you can generate any mood you want.
We are immersed in ELF waves, and those, as far as I know, maybe they are affecting us, but
in control of the solar system. And that's why Bill Gates is now backing something called sun-dimming technology that would reflect sunlight out of the Earth's atmosphere, causing global cooling. Ooh, that's not fraught with risks. You thought gain-of-function research on pathogens was dangerous. Try that. But that doesn't stop Harvard University. Its scientists are testing that technology by spewing calcium carbonate dust into the atmosphere.
To watch all of my exclusive content not featured here on my channel, log on to my website at imjustheretomakeyoutthink.com/films.
Since 2009, there have been a number of cases of strange sounds in the skies reported all over the globe.
Such sounds have been reported in Kentucky and Indiana. In fact, the sounds have been reported right here in Louisville. Wave 3 meteorologist Brian Good has been looking into this. He joins us now with what he was able to find out about these sounds.
Oh, so mysterious, aren't they? Well, Shannon and Scott, you know, these sounds are certainly eerie and have taken place during the day and at night. And in most cases, they last about 1 hour for each episode. I invite you to listen carefully to the sounds you are about to hear. The sounds certainly get your attention, and they're making headlines all over the world.
Tonight, investigators are trying to solve a bizarre mystery.
Strange noises heard around the world the last few weeks.
Hoje, Marcelo Espanha, boa noite para você. Conta melhor essa história pra gente.
A loud, strange noise early this morning woke up families in St. Paul.
Some people describe them as trumpets. Others called it a long hum or even booms, like this recording in Tallahassee, Florida, back in 2011.
Don't go out there.
The sound lasted nearly an hour.
I know it's coming from there somewhere.
The mysterious sounds were also captured on national TV during a Tampa Bay Rays baseball game.
And the bunt is foul. The count is 1-1.
What could that possibly mean? Somebody shut the door.
It sounds supernatural.
So what is everyone hearing? There have been many theories: earthquakes, electromagnetic activity, solar activity, secret government projects. It might just be a matter of time, though, before someone captures the moment that could finally explain it all, guys. And
I have goosebumps now.
It's been a little eerie, and we've had several videos actually in Louisville. Jeff was the one that agreed to come talk to us, but it's something that several scientists and experts I've spoken with are familiar with. They are still, though, investigating.
The invisible UFO with the space age engine kind of humming.
Yeah. Who knows?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Starfish chemtrail, and just for reference to show that those are chemtrails, there is a jet up here somewhere.
Come up your head a little more.
There he is. And you see, he's got a contrail. He's not leaving it all behind. But this, that's something different there, folks.
To be on call of the United Nations, to be specially trained and quickly available, and with advanced provision for financial and logistic support. In addition, the American delegation will suggest a series of steps to improve the United Nations machinery for the peaceful settlement of disputes, for on-the-spot fact-finding, mediation, and adjudication, for extending the rule of international law. For peace is not solely a matter of military or technical problems. It is primarily a problem of politics and people. And unless man can match his strides in weapon and technology with equal strides in social and political development, our great strength, like that of the dinosaur, will become incapable of proper control, and like the dinosaur, vanish from the earth. And as we extend the rule of law on earth, so must we also extend it to man's new domain, outer space. All of us salute the brave cosmonauts of the Soviet Union. The new horizons of outer space must not be riven by the old bitter concepts of imperialism and sovereign claims. The cold reaches of the universe must not become the new arena of an even colder war. To this end, we shall urge proposals extending the United Nations Charter to the limits of man's exploration in the universe.
reserving outer space for peaceful use, prohibiting weapons of mass destruction in space or on celestial bodies, and opening the mysteries and benefits of space to every nation. We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all the nations in weather prediction and eventually in weather control. We shall propose, finally, a global systems of communication satellites linking the whole world in telegraph and telephone and radio and television. The day need not be far away when such a system will televise the proceedings of this body to every corner of the world for the benefit of peace. For the benefit of peace. For the benefit of peace.
Do you think that the timing of it is about right? And I said, yes, I think the timing is very excellent. But when I came to this town 30 years ago, and President Roosevelt had something that really meant a lot to the people, he would take that message and he would walk down Pennsylvania Avenue himself and look straight in the eyes of that Congress and give it to them in person. And the President said he thought that was a good idea, and he did. And as a result, I think the people in the Congress are going to support it. And that message calls for new frontiers, new visions. It calls for us taking the steps now that will make us no longer second in space and in science. It lays the predicate and the foundation for a space communication satellite that will permit the people of the world to see one television program at the same time throughout the world. Think about that kind of communication, and think about the opportunity that will provide. It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather, and he who controls the weather will control the world. It lays the predicate for the steps that are necessary to send a man to the moon. It lays the steps that's necessary to provide a nuclear rocket that will produce benefits that are so unlimited that I couldn't tell you about them if I had all afternoon. But that's the kind of a world that you're living in.
Sometimes, occasionally, the military will put some substances into the atmosphere that are detected by our radar, our weather surveillance radar. It's a substance that's called chaff.
The chaffs do look similar to the oncoming storm system, but they're actually an indication of an aircraft. We replayed the radar images from 8:40 a.m. Turns out several of those chaffs or planes were near the San Diego and Baja areas. Depending on how low and how fast, the planes could have created that sonic boom.
Let's talk about military chaff. You may or may not have heard of this. Now, chaff is something that the aircraft are equipped with. It's a spray that they put out in the atmosphere to confuse ground radars. It's a protection against, say, the radar-guided missiles, okay? So when they're flying these test patterns, they'll chaff the sky, and it shows up on radars. Now, I was looking at my radar wondering, could it have been a flight pattern? Well, here's what happened. I called the National Weather Service, and something interesting here. They confirmed that this right here, this and this are not rain. That was not rain on our radar. So this is not rain. What is it? Could it have been chaff? Well, we may never know.
But we've been dealing a lot with some military activity in terms of chaff anyway, and that's something that I experienced for the first time yesterday. That was a whole lot of fun. And that's where the military just basically dumps some of the tiny particles of plastic or metal mylar into the atmosphere. And basically they do this when we do already have weather in the area, because it's been around since as long as radar has been around, because that's the shot from yesterday's 6 o'clock show. What they do is try to confuse ground-based Doppler radar systems, and as Mark put it so kindly, ground-based meteorologists. And yes, ladies and gentlemen of the armed forces, it worked well. That's a shot of the mylar. That's a shot of the chaff, again, moving through the atmosphere yesterday. As you can see, a very distinctly different pattern from when a storm system would move through.
Tragically, more than 50 people are feared dead after 24 tornadoes ripped through the central U.S. overnight. 24 tornadoes ripped through the central U.S. overnight, leaving a trail of catastrophic destruction in their wake.
And as we're sitting here today, and this is before daybreak, we believe our death toll from this event will exceed 50 Kentuckians, probably end up closer to 70 to 100 lost lives.
The town of Mayfield, Kentucky was hit particularly hard. A candle factory was completely leveled by a tornado with about 110 employees trapped inside. Now, one woman who was trapped under the debris went to Facebook Live to beg for help. Listen to this. So thankfully, the woman who posted that, she posted another video to say she had been rescued, but crews are still working to get others out. And emergency crews in southern Illinois are working around the clock to rescue workers after the roof of a massive Amazon warehouse collapsed. Right now, it's unclear how many people were killed, but officials have confirmed there are fatalities, and one person is confirmed dead. Several others are hurt after the roof collapsed at a nursing home in Arkansas. A local official in the area telling the Associated Press that the building has been cleared and everyone is now accounted for. Officials say they really don't know the true scope of the devastation until daybreak, when they can better assess the damage, and the potential for more severe weather will continue this weekend as the storm system moves east.
Guys, so this one tornado is what we probably saw that has caused most of the damage. A really large, long-track tornado, likely on the ground for over about 200 miles. So they'll go out and do that investigation to see if it was on the ground that long. But it would be talking about maybe one of the longest tornado tracks we've ever seen in this country, at least on record. Now, that was overnight. When these storms happen overnight, they're especially deadly. People aren't aware. They don't have as much kind of warning in these, and you can't get any visual cue that you have a tornado coming. And also in December, sometimes people aren't nearly as aware of what's going on. There you go. Here's where the storm is right now. It's pulling off towards the east. Still some tornado-warned storms with this. You see this up still across parts of Kentucky. They're in across parts of Tennessee as well. We had one that was a tornado-warned storm that was cutting from Mississippi into Alabama. That one's just now a a severe thunderstorm warning. But take a look at this. Most of this coming from one strong line of storms that cut right through around the Boot Hill of Missouri. This is this very long, slow track of this. You get the idea. One storm right there that started to develop and just continued on the ground for probably over 200 miles. We haven't had really significant fatalities from tornadoes in a number of years. Yeah. Part of that is because we have such good warning system now. There's so many storm chasers that are out there tracking these storms. But when you get into overnight hours and in December, when people aren't as accustomed to it, but they certainly can happen in December. In fact, one of the worst outbreaks in this area right there exactly had been in December as well.
Real quick, Rick, how many states now are you talking about this line of tornadoes covering?
Well, that one storm cut through Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, and into Kentucky. Just that one right there. But there were multiple other tornado warnings. We had stuff go through Nashville last night as well.
The Air Force is on record as saying, quote, they want to control the weather by 2025. And we are not talking about just seeding the clouds for rain. Weather modification means, quote, any activity performed with the intention of producing artificial changes in the composition, behavior, or dynamics of the atmosphere, unquote. And as of April this year, there are more than 150 different weather modification programs around the world. Since about 2000, the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy have been spraying the entire United States sky with a toxic brew of chemicals and other biologic agents. Military and some commercial jets have been fitted with huge barrels of at least 49 different kinds of documented chemical poisons. Among other documented ingredients in this toxic man-made clouds are pathogenic molds, fungi, weaponized viruses, and made in some places like the secret site at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is supposed to be a cancer site. But there are a number of scholars and professors tracking this that have big questions about this. Barium and nanoaluminum particles. What do these do to the human body? Barium is an alkaline earth mineral. It was discovered in 1774. At low doses, it can act as a muscle stimulant. At high doses, it detrimentally affects the heart and the nervous system. Barium is toxic to all mammals, and that means not just humans. Aluminum, which is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust, is known to diminish kidney function and destroy brain cells and cognitive function. Just think about it. Just between the aluminum and the mercury that we're breathing all the time, we've got already a serious issue about brain function and cognitive function. There is also documented evidence that the aluminum in chemtrails is released as nanoparticles, and that when they reach the Earth environment for wildlife in lakes and streams, it's causing serious problems with wildlife there. Researchers are also finding that nanoparticles interfere with the growth of plants. Nanotechnology is totally unregulated. Just this past month, a new research report came out showing and documenting for the first time that these nanoparticles actually go through the skin. Well, if you breathe them, whether they go through the skin or whether you're inhaling them, it's still a problem, a serious problem.
Here's a tough question for you. Is the government spraying dangerous chemicals over us from planes? Some people believe there's a sinister top-secret mission that's making us sick.
I'm just here to make you think.